Most people believe that loneliness is something that simply happens, a twist of fate, a result of bad luck, or perhaps a season of life that will pass. But as Master Shi Heng Yi often says, the patterns of your mind become the architecture of your reality. Loneliness is rarely accidental. It is often a reflection of certain deep psychological traits that shape how we see the world, how we connect, and how we protect our inner peace. Today, on Daily Path to Strength, I want to speak to the quiet souls who walk through life alone, not because they want to, but because their inner depth makes it difficult for others to truly understand them. Let's explore the 5 rare personality traits that often define people who don't have many friends, not out of weakness, but out of quiet strength and spiritual clarity. Some people walk alone because they overthink everything. They replay every word, every gesture, every moment of silence after a conversation. They analyze, dissect, and decode what others meant, not to judge, but because their awareness is too sharp. They live in a world where every word carries weight, every tone holds meaning, and every silence tells a story. Their minds are not still rivers, they are oceans full of thought. But this gift of awareness comes with a curse. They struggle to be fully present. While others enjoy the flow of conversation, they are watching themselves from the outside, wondering if they said the right thing, if they smiled too little, if they seemed strange. This hyper-self-awareness, as psychology calls it, turns social interaction into mental chess. Others feel their tension and misread it as coldness or pride. In truth, they are not distant. They are simply trapped in the observation of their own mind. And so, connection becomes a performance they cannot fully relax into. The second rare trait lies in the way they perceive truth. People with few friends often have a low tolerance for inauthenticity. They see through people, through fake laughter, forced flattery, and shallow attention. When someone hides pain behind a smile, they feel it. When someone pretends to be kind for approval, they sense it immediately. This is called high social perception, a form of emotional intelligence so sharp that it cuts through illusion. But here lies the paradox. When you see the truth behind people's masks, you cannot play along. You stop pretending to be impressed. You stop engaging in small talk that means nothing. You stop laughing at things that aren't funny. In a world that thrives on polite lies and emotional theater, that honesty isolates you. Others feel exposed in your presence. They mistake your silence for judgment and your clarity for superiority. Yet, as Master Shi Heng Yi says, when you stop performing for the world stops performing for you. And in that silence, authenticity becomes your only company. The third trait is self-sufficiency, an independence so deep that it borders on solitude. These people rarely need emotional reassurance. They don't depend on others to calm their storms, they meditate through them. They face their struggles in silence and heal in private. In psychology, this is known as emotional self-reliance. It is strength in its purest form, but it carries a hidden cost. Because connection thrives on vulnerability. People bond when they feel needed. When you never ask for help, when you never show weakness, others subconsciously feel unnecessary in your life. They drift away, not out of rejection, but because they don't know how to matter to someone who needs nothing. You don't push people away, you simply give them no space to stay. But this kind of solitude is not loneliness. It's the sacred stillness of the strong. The fourth trait is what psychologists call low social conformity, the refusal to blend into the crowd. These individuals walk their own path, question the rules, and resist the pressure to belong. They don't follow trends, they don't imitate others, they don't seek validation from the group. This is not rebellion, it's awareness. It's the understanding that belonging can cost authenticity. But society often mistakes this individuality for arrogance or isolation. People bond over sameness, the same opinions, the same jokes, the same small fears. And when you step outside that shared illusion, you stand alone. Yet standing alone is what gives birth to clarity. As Shi Heng Yi teaches, when the mind detaches from the crowd, the spirit begins to hear its own voice. These are the voices that create innovation, art, and spiritual insight, but also solitude. The fifth and final trait is perhaps the most misunderstood: difficulty with emotional reciprocity. These individuals care deeply, but they express it quietly. They love through actions, not words. They support rather than share. They listen, but rarely speak of their own pain. In psychology, this is tied to a condition called alexithymia, difficulty identifying and expressing emotions. They feel everything but struggle to translate it into emotional language. Others may see them as cold or indifferent, when in truth, their heart is overflowing but unspoken. They might send you a text to make sure you're safe, but never say, "I miss you." They'll show up when you need them, but will never admit they're lonely. Their love is real. It's just silent. And in a world that measures warmth through words and smiles, silence is often mistaken for distance. Over time, people drift away, not because love was missing, but because expression was misunderstood. The truth is, most people who walk alone didn't lose friends overnight. It happened gradually. A late reply here, a quiet withdrawal there, a refusal to fake laughter, a need for space misunderstood as pride. They became too aware, too independent, too authentic for a social world that thrives on emotional noise. But Master Shi Heng Yi reminds us, the path of the monk is not about isolation from people, but connection to truth. Some souls are meant to walk through life not surrounded by crowds, but by clarity. Not filled with noise, but with meaning. Not liked by everyone, but at peace within themselves. They may eat alone, walk alone, sleep alone, but their solitude is not emptiness, it is mastery. It is the discipline of knowing oneself deeply enough to not seek constant distraction from others. It is understanding that peace is not found in company, but in consciousness. There is, however, a delicate balance. If you find yourself resonating with this, remember, strength is not about avoiding connection, it's about choosing meaningful ones. You don't need to change who you are to fit into shallow waters. You only need to find the few who can swim as deeply as you do. Your calm will scare the loud, your honesty will expose the fake, your silence will confuse the shallow. But those who see you, truly see you, will never leave, because they are built like you. They value depth, truth, and peace over attention, noise, and validation. So don't apologize for your solitude. It's not a flaw, it's a form of spiritual evolution. You're not antisocial, you're selective. You're not cold, you're clear. You're not alone, you're aligned. The world might misunderstand you, but your path is not meant to be understood. It is meant to be walked. Every step alone polishes your mind, strengthens your character, and deepens your wisdom. And when the time is right, those meant to walk beside you will appear. Not because you searched for them, but because your truth attracted them. As Master Shi Heng Yi says, the one who walks alone walks far, if he walks with awareness. So keep walking with awareness, my friend. Embrace your solitude, not as a burden, but as a sacred dojo where the mind is trained and the soul is refined. You are not missing out, you are tuning in. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the silence you once feared was the place where your true strength was born. If you found value in this message, I invite you to subscribe to Daily Path to Strength, like this video, and share it with those who need to hear these words. Because sometimes, all a strong soul needs is a reminder that being different doesn't mean being alone. It means you're on your true path.